Hi everyone, this is Brett Endies, the Dog Savant, dogtrainingla.com. So today I'm going to talk about riding in the car with your dog. A lot of people call me for this issue, and it's something that I find is actually a carryover from dogs that are getting too caught up in other elements of life where things are moving ahead or forward. Walks, changes from room to room, times of day, situations, pending events, and whatnot. So we have to address those first. So if your dog is flying around the house and pulling on the leash and reacting to everything a little more than the norm, you have to deal with that before your dog is going to be able to even handle the car. Why? The restricted and enclosed environment, the fast-moving nature, the external stimuli that's coming by at a rapid pace. I mean, dogs were never meant to ride in cars. They don't evolve with technology. So, you know, we can see the world as like, well, we know what cars are. It makes sense to us because we've seen it progress. Even a person from a couple hundred years ago, if you threw them into our world now, they'd freak out. And a lot of these dogs feel the same way because they're hypersensitive, they're too aware, and they're taking it in all at once. So with that, we address that. That's step one. Step two is getting your dog familiar with the car. Whether they're nervous or they're just too hyperactive in the car, you want to create a calm association. So a lot of preparation, a lot of walking around the car, a lot of introducing it to them in a command in a well-led way, so they're more focused on the command. You can watch my other videos talking about how a command is supposed to get a dog's mind running like an app, so they are in this single pointed state, so everything else is filtered instead of, again, taking it all in at once. So that's step two. Step three is getting some conditioning going. Yes, there is some positive reinforcement that has to happen. So once your dog is in a calm state and you start getting them into the car, they should be able to carry that through, where at least, you know, maybe it's not running. Sometimes turn it on in the driveway, let them just acclimate to, you know, for a few days, a week or so, you know, till you're actually driving. You know, once they're calm, you give them treats, you reward and whatnot. But you have to be careful with positive reinforcement. If you have to be really keen to your dog's sensitivities, or as far as what's going on inside of them. If your dog is doing a down, let's say, in the back of your car, and it seems like they're listening, there's my finger quotes again, and what happens is that they end up, you know, being they're overstimulated in their mind, or they're nervous, and you're rewarding them or saying, oh, it's okay. You're telling them it's okay for that to be the standard of how to act, versus let me work on ways to calm your sensory system and the way you're processing the information around you, and then reward you when you're in a better state. And why do I say to do that? Because it works every time if you know how. And I say it with confidence. I've done this for 22 years. Anyone who begs to differ, please, I would go to any shelter, find your worst dog or any dog with a problem, and please, I'll show you. And I have videos that somewhat demonstrate it. Anyway, okay, so that's the next step. Step three is start moving. So you might not want to go for an 8-hour car ride the first time, maybe a trip around the block, or maybe if your dog, once the engine's running, that's where they start getting, no pun intended, revved up. So instead, you know, you go slow. Again, once they're calm, you can reward them and give them the positive reinforcement for their best state of mind as you've slowly acclimated it. But don't be satisfied with like, well, they're better and, you know, they tolerate it or we'll just avoid it. That's what a lot of positive reinforcement training does, is it doesn't push the issue and expect more from the dog in a fair and understanding way to get them to show that greater potential that you can actually reward, and that makes sense and it is productive in your training. Okay, and then again, you just build it up, and you know, you might have to go slower for some dogs than others, but push it a little bit. Expect growth if you know how to tap into that single-pointed focus you can create. You know, it's like doggy meditation. So anyway, hope that helps. I will give more demos. Oh, and I do have one video showing my dog a little bit of a step-by-step, because you do want to command them in and out of the vehicle just to create some more of that, you know, well, I'm never overthinking each step till I'm actually in it. Okay, well, I'm Brett Endies, the Dog Savant, dogtrainingla.com. Thank you so much and love your dog. Have a great day.